And we are live. Welcome to the NBA Strategy Show. It is Tuesday, April 22nd. I am Josh Engleman, here to break down a 3-game NBA slate. We've actually got a good one today. We only had 2 yesterday. We've got 3 today. Bucks, 4.5-point dogs in Indianapolis. Memphis, 14.5-point dogs in OKC. Minnesota, 5.5-point dogs in Los Angeles, taking on the Lakers. Jokic went for the triple-double last night, 26, 12, and 10. Had to play 43 minutes to do so. Couldn't get the dub, however. The guy you needed, Kawhi Leonard, for sure. 39 minutes, 39 real points. Dude could not miss from the field. Cade was great. Brunson was great. No one on DraftKings scored in the 40s in fantasy points. Jokic had 65. Cade and Kawhi and Brunson were all in the 50s. And then the next highest guy was Jalen Duren at 39.75. That's kind of wild. You ended up getting those 36 minutes out of Duren, so he was great. A lot of guys broke hearts. Asar Thompson fouled out. He was dreadful in 20 minutes. That couldn't have gone much worse for him. Towns did absolutely nothing. 10 real points. That should be impossible for him. Truly impossible. I mean, Tim Hardaway Jr. had 2.25 fantasy points in 21 minutes. Hard to be much worse than that. Interesting day. Now we're here, breaking down a 3-gamer. And unfortunately, we start in the most difficult place to break down. Now, before we do that, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. So let's start with the easy part. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 11,300, power forward eligible. Sorry, power forward center eligible. Let me be more specific here. So for Giannis, I don't know how you dodge him. This is the same thing as Jokic for me yesterday. Slightly different because of what else is here. But you've got 3 primary pay-up options today. Giannis at $11,300. Luka at 10.8. SGA at 10.3. I think Giannis is pretty clearly the best of the bunch. Right now, we have Giannis projected for 5 more fantasy points than Luka and about 10 more than SGA. Obviously, Milwaukee did not win their first game, so they're looking to pick this one up. And whether or not Dame is back today, Luka has to compete with Austin Reeves and LeBron. Giannis doesn't really have to compete with anybody. Dame sort of, but we'll have that conversation in a second. So right now, Giannis, 52% optimal, 1.6 fantasy points per minute, 50% owned. He's in 75% of my lineups. I'm just paying up for the Greek Freak because if Milwaukee is going to drag this one to 1-1, it's absolutely happening because Giannis did it. For sure. I am at least a little bit interested in this. This is Giannis's assist rate. You can see it has climbed considerably with Dame gone. I wonder how much of that he gives back. Do they just want the ball in his hands no matter what during the playoffs? Or does he go back to, the mid to low 30s? Interesting conversation. Another knock-on effect of that. You've seen his rebounding rate creep up a little bit. Here's the more interesting one. You've seen his offensive rebounding rate absolutely crater. So he was more in the 10% offensive rebounding rate. Mid-March fell off a cliff down into the mid-5s. So either he's getting back on defense from a transition standpoint more, or not crashing as much, or because he's the point guard, maybe that's a little different. None of it matters to me. I just want to have a ton of Giannis. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, sorry. We're getting a fridge delivered right now, and it's not going well. Yeah, S&P, that's a good point. All right, let's get to Dame. So Dame is questionable for today. He does have props in the prop market. Dame has been out for a while now. Blood clots, by all accounts, that should be fine. I would expect that Dame was not doing any conditioning for a very long time. I have absolutely no idea how much he could play, but I'll say this. Based on his points prop market, seems like if you're betting him, the consensus is somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 minutes. If that's the case, he's 8K on DraftKings, he's 8K on FanDuel. You're probably not playing Dame. Now, I have no idea how limited he's going to be. I have no idea what's in the tank. I don't know anything. He could be better off. This month plus of rest could have been just what Dame needed to be healthier here. I have no idea. But I know that I'm not playing him today in DFS. I'm not really playing a ton of Milwaukee, if we're being honest. As of right now, they're the second lowest owned team. And I get it. Like, after Giannis, there's only 2 guys getting double-digit ownership on DraftKings. And there's only 2 guys getting double-digit ownership on FanDuel. And they're not the same guys. Brook Lopez at 5K, center only, 17% optimal, 13% owned. He's in 20% of my lineups, but he ranks 24th. He's pretty unappealing, but like fine. And Bobby Portis, power forward, center eligible. We got him in for 25 minutes, 5,200, 25% optimal, 25% of my lineups, 25% owned, ranks 11th. But after that, the next highest owned guy is Taurean Prince at 8. I don't have a ton of interest in him. He's fine as like a 10% guy. Kyle Kuzma's dreadful. And then if Dame is back, that takes a giant bite out of whatever's happening between Gary Trent, AJ Green, KPJ, Ryan Rollins potentially. All of those guys become a very difficult endeavor if there's no Dame, or if there is a Dame. Now, if there is no Dame, then we're looking at Ryan Rollins, we're looking at AJ Green, we're looking at Gary Trent, we're looking at Kevin Porter Jr. Somebody in that group is going to be a little more interesting. On the FanDuel side, Taurean Prince looks a little bit better. 4K, small forward only, 15% optimal, 15% owned. But Lopez is the only other guy. Otherwise, Portis is 6,800. He's $1,600 more expensive on FanDuel. You don't want Bobby Portis on FanDuel. You don't want Dame. You don't want Kuzma. It's Giannis. It's Lopez. It's Portis on DraftKings. It's Prince on FanDuel. But Milwaukee doesn't look great outside of Giannis. And I'm okay with that. They don't have that great of players. Most of the guys on the Milwaukee Bucks aren't good DFS guys. Taurean Prince, bad DFS player. Kyle Kuzma, bad DFS player. Gary Trent, AJ Green. None of these guys are any good in DFS. So I'm just not going to have much Milwaukee outside of Giannis. And if Giannis is the guy that I'm getting to for a team, I kind of just feel like I'm doing it right. Let's see if we have any Milwaukee bets. What do we have? We have Kyle Kuzma under 10.5 points on NoVig 4% EV. I would imagine everybody would be interested in that. That's the only available Milwaukee Bucks bet on OddsShopper right now on the NBA side. And we have a lot of them available. All right, hit that like button. Let's go to Indy. Pacers 4.5-point favorites here. Nobody on the injury report that matters. They are currently the most owned team on today's slate, including 3 guys 40% owned and 4 guys in the top 10. We'll lead it off with the highest ranked guy in the boom bust tool. $6,100 Miles Turner. Got him in for 32 minutes, 42% owned, 42% optimal, 64% of my lineups. I'm finding it very easy to get to Miles Turner. The minutes are just going to be there. You know, they don't want to play Thomas Bryant more than they have to. So as I'm looking at this right now, I'm expecting to have a lot of Miles Turner today. He's a fantasy point per minute guy. He's going to play as much as he can. There's really nothing taking him off the floor barring foul trouble. So I like Miles Turner more than I like anybody else for Indy. Now is where we get into the foul trouble. Or not the foul trouble. Sorry, I'm reading Arca Thelza in chat, said Miles Turner, 2 quick ones. Now is where we're getting into the fade situation. Because I am massively under the field on Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam. I guess we'll start with Halliburton. 8,200, point guard only, 1.25 fantasy points per minute. Look, I like that price tag. I think he's a good value, and I think he's the best point per dollar play in his range. But we have him 33% optimal, 42% owned. Tyrese Halliburton is over-owned in our data. And that's causing me to get only 16% of him. And it's not like I don't like him, because clearly I do. But he's over-owned for what we've got going on right now. What do you guys? How do you guys feel about Halliburton today? I'm not excited about it because obviously he has the ability to just go crazy. But 42% ownership is too much if you're 33% optimal. That's too high. That is over projecting his ownership based on our data. By the way, Milwaukee 34th percentile against pick and roll ball handlers. Tyrese Halliburton is about as good as it gets. 97th percentile as the pick and roll ball handler, 1.1 points per possession. That's the part that scares me. I think this matchup is just really good for him. Not only that, it's better for Tyrese Halliburton if Damian Lillard plays. Because when Damian Lillard is on, no matter who the backup is, no matter who's playing for Dame, the defense is better than when he's out on the floor. So Halliburton looks even better there. This is a conundrum for me because the data just doesn't agree with the ownership. So I'm hoping it comes down and I'm hoping I can get more. But right now, I'm expecting to be light on Halliburton if that ownership holds. Similarly, I'm expecting to be light on Pascal Siakam too. He's 6,900 power forward only, but he's 33% optimal, 48% owned. If he maintains this ownership, I'm going to be way below the field. And again, it's not that I don't like Pascal Siakam here. But to me, he's like massive. Like he's even more over-owned than Halliburton. So I'm more than half the field of Halliburton more than half the field of Pascal Siakam. I'm under the field on Aaron Nesmith, 4,600 shooting guard, small forward. I'm right with the field on Andrew Nembhard. So I'm with the field or over the field on 2 of the top 10 guys. I'm under the field on the other 2, and I'm okay with that. And then I'm neutral to Benedict Mathurin. Now, on the FanDuel side, Halliburton and Nesmith are the 2 most owned guys. Halliburton, I would argue, is a hair over-owned on FanDuel. But Nesmith looks amazing on FanDuel. Small forward, power forward eligible, 4,900, 43% optimal, 45% owned. That's a guy you're going to have a lot of. Now, the rest of these guys on the FanDuel end, not all that interesting. Siakam, Turner, Mathurin, Toppin, McConnell, they're all like 10 percenters. I love that Dirty O comes in here and says, put some respect on Jaden McDaniels' name, and spells Jaden McDaniels' name wrong. The only person not putting respect on Jaden McDaniels' name is you. What do you guys like from the Pacers? Because I think this is going to be my fade spot. Like I said, they're the most owned team. There's not a team where I'm more under the field. This is the way that I'm going to get a little different. Unless the ownership comes down. Like maybe this is just an early run. Because I like Halliburton if he's not 42% owned. If that 42 became 32, I wouldn't be surprised if I were over the field. Because I like the matchup for Halliburton. But right now, based on the ownership, I don't. I really don't. If we look at the Pacers on Odds Shopper, we don't have a single Pacers bet. This thing is loaded with bets right now. None of them for the Indiana Pacers. Spoonie Love likes Turner and Nembhard. Yeah, man, Turner's the guy today, I think. I mean, Turner and Nembhard are my 2 most exposed guys. Let's get out of this game. Let's go to Memphis. Hit that like button, guys. Memphis Grizzlies, 14.5 point underdogs in Oklahoma City, 229 total. Grizzlies obviously got the shit kicked out of them in their opener. It did not go well. They ran a very interesting rotation. They're playing guys I did not expect to be played. And they've got some really weird ownership here today. They did get 2 guys into the top 10. The first of which is John Konchar. 3,100. Shooting guard, small forward eligible. 5.2x value. Is he a good per minute guy? No. Do we have any idea how many minutes he's going to play? No. I got him in for 22 right now. I have no confidence in that whatsoever. However, that price tag, that positionality, if he's playing any sort of real minutes, this is a good point per dollar play. 33% optimal, 35% owned in 41% of my lineups. My most exposed Memphis Grizzly is John Konchar, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing makes you feel better than that. My second most exposed Grizzly, just on the heels of Konchar, is Scottie Pippen. Pippen played 22 minutes in the first game, but, you know, the first half looked a little bit different. 5,100, 27% optimal, 21% owned, ranks 10th in 39% of my stuff. My 2 big stands are John Konchar and Scottie Pippen. I hate every bit of this. It's the real guys that are interesting and problematic here. Obviously, it didn't go well for anybody in that opener. Ja is 7,800, 17% optimal, 18% owned. He just should be 15% owned. Matchup's awful. Bane, 7,200, point guard, shooting guard eligible, 20% optimal, 17% owned. He's in 20% of my stuff. Yeah, that's just where he should be. He's a 20% optimal guy. Triple J, 7,100, power forward, center eligible, 12% optimal, 7% owned. So this is the same thing that I felt 2 days ago when they played. I like Memphis way more than the data does. I don't think they're this bad, but man, oh man, were they bad in the first game. And it's the same situation on FanDuel. Scottie Pippen, priority. John Conchar, priority. Morant, Bane, Jackson, not all that interesting. Edey playing like 28 to 32 minutes. Looks totally fine in that 20 to 25% range. To me, I'm going to get a lot of Pippen and Conchar. And then, like, if I have any other Memphis guys, it's a random dude. It might be Morant. It might be Bane. It might be Jackson. It might be Edey. It might be Aldama. It's just all random. It's just all random for me, other than Conchar and Pippen. And I don't trust that at all. I have Conchar's going to play today. I'm not even confident in Scottie Pippen's role. But the big three for Memphis don't look amazing. And they're running into a buzzsaw defense. I don't mind being light on these Memphis Grizzlies, even running in the face of how I feel about them, because I just think Oklahoma City is too damn good. It's a horrific spot. This is truly not good for Memphis. What do you guys like for Memphis? I feel like I saw a lot of people talking about Bane. We have a Santi Aldama under 10.5 points prop on DraftKings that has a 4.3% EV. We've got Desmond Bane under 4.5 assists on Profit X, 2.6% EV. And that looks like it's it for Memphis on Portfolio EV right now. Yeah, so Jake, I'm not really reading into that fourth quarter. He also played 8 minutes at the beginning of the second quarter and another 5 minutes at the beginning of the third. That's 13 first half minutes. That paces him for 26. That's 4 more than the 22 that he got. But like, they got destroyed. Maybe Luke Kennard plays. Maybe Vince Williams plays more. Maybe Conchar plays less. Like, yes, I'm nervous about Conchar's minutes, but he played 13 in the first half. So, I don't know. Okay. I don't know how y'all are even thinking about paying that price for Pippen. Why not? Why not? Jose, you want to take Ja here? All right. Arcathelza, I'll bite. If Scottie Pippen's minutes are shaky, who gets them? He played 8 minutes in the first quarter. And he played about 5 minutes in the second quarter, but he picked up his third foul. So conceivably, he lost another 2 minutes. I mean, he played real playing time. Could be Kennard. I feel like Kennard would take from Conchar first, but like, I mean, the main takeaway here is I don't really know. They got to go back to the well and figure something out new, because whatever they tried in game one did not work. It did not work at all. Let's check out OKC. Thunder obviously absolutely dismantled Memphis in their opener. Hard to read into anything crazy here. However, we do have one guy separating from the pack for Oklahoma City, and that's Alex Caruso. I got him in for 20 minutes. Caruso played 12 minutes in the first game. Obviously wasn't necessary when you're up by 100 at halftime, but he played 3 minutes in the first quarter, and he played another 8-minute rotation in the second quarter. That's 11. You know, that pace is 22 if you just get a normal backup run. Got him in for 20. Even if you knock that down a bit, 48% optimal, 50% owned, ranks third in 58% of my lineups. Caruso, easy value. Easy value for me. The playing time is going to be there, even if it's not this much playing time, and it could easily be more. It's the playoffs now. He's a good per minute guy. MPE. Caruso is clearly the best play from Oklahoma City on DraftKings, and clearly the best Oklahoma City play on FanDuel. Now, he's 4,600 on FanDuel, but he has guard forward eligibility there, still 50% owned. It's all things Caruso. After that, look at the ownership on DraftKings to these guys. For the starters, 18, 19, 16, 17, 11. SGA, Dort, Jalen Williams, Chet, and Isaiah Hartenstein. They're super balanced. Optimal rate, 21, 21, 16, 15, 13. SGA should be 20% owned. Dort should be 20% owned. Jalen Williams and Chet should be 15. Isaiah Hartenstein should be 10 to 15. I don't have a take. I don't have a lean. I don't think we're squeezing anything interesting out of these guys. They're priced where they should be, and they don't create any separation. Caruso's the only guy that's underpriced on DraftKings, and that's why you get a ton of him. But you just scatter out your Oklahoma City starters, and you don't go to anything from the bench. I don't know. I don't really have a ton of interest in like Cason Wallace or Isaiah Joe because they're not good enough per minute guys. What do you guys like for OKC? Like, I'd like to like SGA more, but I like Luka more than I like SGA, and I like Giannis more than I like both of them. So, like, I lose out on SGA by default. I still have 20%. You know, I'll take whatever I can get out of SGA. Similar, like, I'll take whatever I can get out of Dort. I'll take whatever I can get out of Jalen Williams or Chet or Isaiah Hartenstein. I can't look at one of those guys and like them more. S&P, a little bit. I think the Bagley minutes are real. I'm not like super enamored with it because it still is a matchup against OKC. But I don't think he's leaving the rotation. David likes Chet's price. William likes Jalen Williams. Arcatelzo likes Caruso and Hartenstein. Yeah, like Caruso for sure. After that, I'll take whatever I can get here from Oklahoma City. Do we have any Thunder bets? No more Thunder bets on here right now. FanDuel is the same sort of story. I would say Hartenstein's not as interesting on FanDuel. I'd say you're still casting that wide net on SGA, Dort, Williams, and Holmgren, and you're prioritizing Caruso. I haven't got Yokes. You got to play KPJ until he stops producing. Not if Dame's back, you don't. Not if Dame's back. Yeah, S&P. The problem is I just don't think if they pull Bagley or pull Edie that Bagley's the answer. I think you just go Triple J at the 5 and then to Aldama or a wing. I don't have anything else to say here for Oklahoma City. Like, I would love to add takes on Dort or Jalen Williams or Chet. I just don't have them. They're too balanced. They're too good. Nobody cares who's getting it. Like, they're just going to beat the shit out of you. All right, hit that like button, guys, if you haven't done it yet. And don't forget, anytime you want to sign up for the Portfolio EV tool, I share it on the screen a lot. You can get it for free for 7 days if you've never signed up before. The link is in the description. You get expected value, odd shopper rating, shop around across the best books, mass enter bets. I could click this button right now, place 6 bets at Onyx Odds, 4 at FanDuel, 3 at DraftKings. It'll just populate my bet card. You could generate parlays for all of the available bets immediately. Just click the generate parlay button. Odds boost calculators, pick'em sites as well if you're on Prize Picks or Sleeper or Better or Underdog. Again, link in the description if you want to sign up for Portfolio EV. 7-day free trial. Makes it very easy. All right, final game, late night hammer. This is the 10 o'clock start. Minnesota Timberwolves up 1-0 on the Lakers. 5.5-point dogs in this one, taking on Los Angeles. Ownership is spotty coming into the Wolves today. They're the middle of the pack, but it depends who you're looking at. The guy that's getting the most love, Jaden McDaniels, 4,900, small forward, power forward eligible. Not the best per minute guy in the world, but he does fit because of his position and his price. Should be playing around 36 minutes, 35% optimal, 35% owned, 40% of my lineups. He looks great on DraftKings. He doesn't look as good on FanDuel. He's $1,100 more expensive, but he's still 26% owned. After that, the only other guy pulling significant ownership is Dante DiVincenzo. Point guard, shooting guard eligible, 4,200, 25% optimal, 30% owned, 34% of my lineups. He's 5,100 on FanDuel, but still 32% owned. Looks like Dante DiVincenzo and Jaden McDaniels are your top 2 guys for Minnesota. Travis, now Bagley's in the rotation now. He played in the first half. I don't know how much he's in the rotation, but we can ignore the third and fourth quarters. After that, I don't really have much of a stand on Minnesota. I'm in and around the field on Anthony Edwards, who in theory looks great at 8,700, but just does not grade out well in our data. Certainly has a high ceiling. I prefer Julius Randle to Anthony Edwards by a hair. 20% optimal, 17% owned, but I think Gobert does not look very good. I don't think Mike Conley looks very good. I don't think Naz Reid looks very good. Now, Gobert looks way better on FanDuel. Gobert is $500 cheaper on FanDuel than he is on DraftKings. That's a big price discount, and that's why you see him pulling 37% ownership and being the most owned guy for the Wolves. Conley's a little bit more interesting on FanDuel just because it's FanDuel, but Edwards is $900 more expensive. That's not all that interesting to me. Naz Reid is 6,100 on FanDuel. That's not all that interesting to me. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is not a guy that I'm super worried about one way or the other. Randall looks good on both sites. But Minnesota's spotty. And unfortunately, McDaniels and DiVincenzo appear to be the best 2 dudes. Oh, Jorge, that sucks. That sucks. I'm nervous about McDaniels. I just don't know how you get away from it. I'm not a big fan of his. I don't think he's very good offensively, and that's what you need. But he's going to be out there a ton defensively, so That's what we do with Minnesota. Now, Minnesota bets, I'm pretty sure we have a bunch. Yeah, we do. Anthony Edwards under 25.5 points on NoVig is the second best bet available. Rudy Gobert over 10.5 rebounds on NoVig, 5% EV. DiVincenzo under 10.5 points, 2.6% EV on DraftKings. We got quite a few Minnesota options out there if you're trying to get any bets down for this one. We close it out with the Los Angeles Lakers. Lakers trying to save their season. You drop them both at home to start, and this shit is over. Nobody on the injury report, nothing to worry about here. You've got your best play on DraftKings from the Lakers pretty clearly to me. $10,800 Luka Doncic. Going to play 41, 42, 43 minutes. 10-8. 1.4 fantasy points per minute. 30% optimal, 30% owned in 40% of my lineups. I'm paying up for Giannis, but I think there's enough value to also pay up for Luka a considerable amount. I think he's the second best pay up. He's my favorite Laker, and I want to get a ton of Doncic, especially if they want to save their season here. I think Austin Reeves is your second best option. 22% optimal, 6,800 point guard, shooting guard eligibility. 22% optimal, 20% owned. This is the same story on FanDuel. Luka's your number one play. 10-8, 54% optimal, 49% owned. Austin Reeves still looks good here. But there's more value and more roster ability on FanDuel. Dorian Finney-Smith is 35% owned, ranks 9th. LeBron's 30% owned, ranks 5th. Even Rui's 25% owned on FanDuel. That's not the same story on DraftKings. Rui is the same, basically the same price. He's 6% owned on DraftKings. I didn't get him. Dorian Finney-Smith, 4K, but power forward center, only 10% owned. I got a big stand on him. I think he's under-owned, but I don't love the position as much. And then LeBron, he's $100 more expensive on DraftKings. That's not a great price. He's 13% owned. He's 15% optimal. It's not very good. And I don't think we're going to be going to Gabe Vincent. I do think Jared Vanderbilt is sneaky in this matchup if they just want to completely remove Jackson Hayes from this equation. Just don't know how well that's going to hold up. But it's not like he's getting any love. FanDuel, you want to get to a lot more of the Lakers. Luka, Rui, LeBron, Dorian Finney-Smith. DraftKings, not so much. Luka, Reeves, a little bit of LeBron, a little bit of Dorian Finney-Smith. Lakers bets, we don't have any. A lot of Clippers. No Lakers, though. So that's 3 games up, 3 games down. Do I think that I'll have lineups with Luka, LeBron, and Reeves in the same lineup? Probably not. I would be surprised. That seems like a little bit too much salary. Let's build some lineups. And then let's get out of here. Single lineup sim. Guys, hit that like button. Plenty of content coming up for the rest of the day, if you guys are interested. Laffy is coming up for the MLB strategy show immediately after this one at 11 a.m. The NHL strategy show will take place at 2 p.m. Greg and Bellman will be on Live Before Lock at 5 for MLB. I will be with Eric on NBA Live Before Lock at 6. And then Greg and I will be live on playback watching Milwaukee and Indy, maybe a little bit of Memphis and OKC. We'll be talking ownership. We'll have a late swap opportunity at 7:30, so you don't want to miss us on playback. Time to build a lineup, folks. Here we go. And I honestly think this is going to be pretty difficult. All right. Well, it looks like I'm going to get to Luka. I actually think it's going to be easier to get to Luka and Shea over Giannis. I'm going to go to Shea, actually, and not Luka and not Giannis. At least not Giannis yet. I'm going to get Scottie Pippen. I'm going to get Desmond Bane. I'm going to get Andrew Nembhard. Man, I need a forward in the worst way. I guess I'll take Jaden McDaniels. John Conchar. Double optimals to Jalen Williams and Miles Turner. Let's see how we do here. First draft. I think we got it already. I'm expecting this to be over 60%. I think I crushed this. Negative 8.5. We're clearing it all. Boy, oh boy, did I talk a big game and be completely wrong. All right, so instead of Shea, I'm gonna go Luka. I'm gonna keep Jaden McDaniels in at small forward. I'm gonna keep Andrew Nembhard in at shooting guard. I think I'm gonna get Zach Edey in at center. And then I'm gonna get one more guy. It's probably in my best interest to find a forward. Feels like Bobby Portis is that guy. Final three guys ended up being Conchar, Dorian Finney-Smith, Nembhard, I think. All right, had to do better here. Dan, I say it all the time. I'm just never wrong. That's the problem. 56%. I'm going to try to fix this. If I take out John Conchar and Zach Edey, it stays the same. If I take out Luka Doncic and Dorian Finney-Smith, it stays the same. If I take out Luka Doncic and John Conchar, I'm guessing it stays the same. Yeah. I got to take out three guys. If I take out Luka, Conchar, Dorian Finney-Smith, and I go to SGA instead, then I get Caruso and Dorian Finney-Smith. Does that improve the lineup? Nope. Let's get Luka back in there. We take out Giannis. Portis, Conchar, Dorian Finney-Smith. So that's the one that was like 55. Maybe I'll sneak it into 60 here. Nope, 32. All right, we'll stick with the 55. Let's go to FanDuel. FanDuel I'll knock out of the park. FanDuel is easier. All right, SGA absolutely going in. Oh, wow. Value falls off a cliff. Oh, no, I just, I looked at it wrong. Although I do think SGA is going in. As is Zach Edey. As is Aaron Nesmith. And Scottie Pippen. I need a power forward. I'm going to go Julius Randle there. And then I'm going to get one more guy. And then we're good. I don't want to spend too much salary, but I feel like I kind of need to spend a little bit of it. Let's go. I don't want to go. I'm going to try LeBron. Small forward LeBron. Complete this lineup with Nembhard. I don't remember who. Pippen, Nesmith, maybe? $100 left on the table. SGA, Nembhard, Pippen, Caruso, LeBron, Nesmith, Randall, Aldama, Edey. 62%. We got it, baby. On the nose. On the nose. SGA and Nembhard, Pippen and Caruso, LeBron, Nesmith, Randall, Aldama, Edey. You love to see it. Can I improve that at all? Probably not. Well, guys, that's going to do it. We got a lot of schedule going on. We got a lot of games. We got a lot of site. We got a lot of everything. A lot of words there that didn't make any sense. MLB strategy show coming up next. Enjoy your day, everybody. Another good day of NBA playoff basketball here.